Hey guys, I'm Simon and welcome back to the Aether Hub for more Magic the Gathering lore. In today's video, we're going to explore the aftermath of Jace's and Vraska's confrontation with Azor, the former Planeswalker and the creator of the Immortal Sun, as well as what will happen to their relationship. That is, once Vraska finds out about the true plan of her employer, the Dragon Planeswalker Nicol Bolas. We're starting to wrap up the end of the Ixalan storyline with Sabotage. Our story doesn't begin in the present day, but actually 3,000 years ago on an unknown plane. We aren't really told anything significant about this plane other than that Azor had a huge impact on it and was currently residing there at what he called the Palace of Justice. Really humble. It's there that the two Planeswalkers and old friends Ugin and Azor meet to discuss the recent actions of Nicol Bolas and how they'll deal with the Elder Dragon once and for all. Remember, this story takes place way before the Mending, back when Planeswalkers were basically gods, so dealing with Nicol Bolas at that point was even more troubling and dangerous than it is today, if you could believe that. Ugin had come to Azor to inform the Sphinx that he came up with a plan to stop the Elder Dragon before he conquers any more planes or sets his cryptic unknown plans into motion. Their plan depended on a success on two fronts. Nicol Bolas had to be lured to a plane where it would be possible to trap him, and the Immortal Sun had to work. Knowing that you can't just tell Nicol Bolas where to go, Azor had explained, in great detail, the intricacies of his Hieromancy spell, the same type of magic used by Gideon Jura, what is described as law magic, which basically controls and binds different beings. Anyway, it'll be that type of spell which he'll use to summon Bolas to the plane of Ixalan, a world that was yet to be graced by Azor's presence and laws. But in order to trap him there, a powerful artifact, now known as the Immortal Sun, would have to be created by using Azor's spark. Azor would no longer be a planeswalker, but he was certain that Ugin could help him reclaim that spark. Once Bolas gets himself imprisoned on Ixalan, Ugin will use his secret weapon, which is unknown to us, but could possibly remove Bolas from existence entirely. Last but not least, Azor would have to know exactly where to aim his summoning spell, so, in order to make it easier for the both of them, Ugin had agreed to lure Bolas to the world of Tarkir. Diving a bit back into the past, we follow Nicol Bolas to an unknown plane, carelessly slapping an elf around with his own severed arm. Bolas didn't care who the elf was, what this plane was, nor what his role on the plane could be. He was simply letting off some steam, frustrated that this was the third plane he had come to conquer that was already graced by his so-called lawbringer. Besides, the elf dared to throw his insults at the Elder Dragon, so instead of just forcing information out of him, which he could have easily done by the way, Bolas sought to torture him a bit, as that would be a more fitting punishment. Before the elf was abandoned and seemingly passed away from blood loss, he let out a single word, Azor, informing Bolas of the name of his newfound enemy. Caring very little, Bolas took off to the sky and seemingly left this world. He has been searching for Azor ever since, over many years and across many planes, until he had finally found new information on an unknown world. A world torn by war, and from a nameless law mage who served at a place known as the Palace of Justice. Get it? This was the same plane where Ugin and Azor met. Bolas had to read this fool's mind, and came to learn that he had blamed Azor for the state of this plane. The Sphinx came there many years ago, and brought law and order to the world, a world that many thought didn't even need fixing. But after he left, the system that he had so carefully crafted fell flat on its face. War broke out, and chaos consumed the world. When this giant Elder Dragon came to visit their world, the Law Mage was willing to discuss more about their common, true enemy. Finally, after searching for the Sphinx for years, as convenience would have it, Bolas just happened to stumble upon this world and this one random person that was there, at that random point in time when Ugin had visited Azor, so that he could learn about their plan in the Immortal Sun. I don't want to say lazy writing, but that's very, very convenient for Bolas. Back on Tarkir, Ugin and Azor were just finishing their long distance across the Blind Eternities conversation in which Azor had informed the Spirit Dragon that the Immortal Sun was working as predicted and that he only needs the dragon to lure Bolas to Tarkir and signal the Sphinx to summon him to Ixalan, a world that would be his prison. However, before Ugin could finish his preparations, Bolas came out of nowhere and attacked him, informing him that his idiot cat friend had left way too many clues behind, especially statues of himself all across the multiverse, essentially making a trail of breadcrumbs which led Bolas to discovering their plan. The rest of the story proceeded the way we had already known. Nicol Bolas killed Ugin on Tarkir and left. Sarkhan Val, a planeswalker native of Tarkir and tied to both Bolas and Ugin, had traveled back in time to seal Ugin in a cocoon, allowing him to recover. And Azor got stuck on Ixalan, a prisoner in a prison of his own making thanks to the Immortal Sun. As centuries passed, it became clear to Azor that something must have happened to his friend, so the Sphinx did what he thought was best, bringing his brand of law and order to Ixalan. If he was gonna be stuck here, he might as well do his work, right? Back in present-day Ixalan, Jace told Vraska everything he knew about Nicol Bolas, his creation and capture of the Planar Bridge, his undead factory that was Amonkhet, and his triumph over the Gatewatch. Vraska in turn told him everything that she knew. She told him how the dragon had summoned her to get the Immortal Sun for him, how she was scared of just what he could do to her if she failed, and how she was supposed to summon one of his allies once she had acquired the artifact. Jace concluded that the one that she was supposed to summon was Tezzeret, a man who had become a living planar bridge, and Vraska concluded that the zombies from Amonkhet are meant to be a multiversal army that Bolas can send from one plane to another. Once they arrive on the plane, Bolas could just use the Immortal Sun to make sure that no one leaves, ensuring all planeswalkers are slaughtered with the rest of the world. But what was his endgame? Jace closed his eyes and searched his memories. He had remembered catching a small glimpse of what Bolas was planning back when Bolas was uncharacteristically caught off guard, allowing Jace into his mind back on Amonkhet. A flash of Ravnica. All roads, all of these plans, they all seemed to lead to Ravnica. Vraska was terrified. Ravnica was their home, and now, thanks to her, Bolas was gonna destroy it. She informed Jace that if she gives the Immortal Sun to Bolas, he'll use it on Ravnica. However, if she doesn't, then they'd both be stuck there. Either way, it appeared Bolas had already won this battle. However, to her, this made no sense. What does he need all this for? Bolas could easily kill other planeswalkers without the use of the Immortal Sun or this army. Trap planeswalkers there while he destroys other planes? It just doesn't make any sense. Bolas was powerful enough not to fear these new planeswalkers. They were all ants in comparison to him, so what does he need the Immortal Sun for? Even worse, if she gives him the sun, he will most likely inspect her mind and find out that Jace was with her on Ixalan, tipping him off that the Gatewatch probably knows about his plans. But then again, what if he doesn't have to find out? Vraska came up with a plan. Jace was to take away her memories of Ixalan, implement new ones so that Bolas never finds out what happened here, and when the time was right, Jace will restore her memories and together they'll defeat the dragon. She explained to him that there was an ancient power on Ravnica, a powerful heromancy magic, crafted by, let's say a powerful law mage like Azor, which guildmasters can tap into, especially when they're working together. Ancient, primordial magic. Magic that might be enough to help them fight off Nicol Bolas, maybe even defeat him. She will remain his puppet, a lackey working under him, gaining her just reward from the evil dragon, the title of Guildmaster of the Golgari. And when the time's right, Jace will restore her memories by calling her, his pet name for her, Captain. With her memories restored, she'll be able to tap into the primordial power and become a great asset to him, not to mention the rest of the Gatewatch. Jace reluctantly agreed, and after saying their goodbyes, took away her memories, implementing new ones before casting an invisibility spell on himself and disappearing from her life forever. When Vraska woke from her trance-like state, she called Tezzeret to pick up the Immortal Sun and finally left Ixalan, planeswalking away back to Ravnica to accept her just reward. I mean, what else can you do after doing the bidding of an insane planeswalking dragon, right? So Vraska goes from captain on Ixalan to the guild leader of the Gugari, all thanks to a job well done stealing the Immortal Sun on Ixalan. Anyway guys, that's one less chapter here in the Ixalan story arc. We only got one more left to go, then we can wrap this up and focus on Dominaria. Let me know what you guys think about this chapter of the storyline in the comment section below. Do you like Jace's plan for Vraska? Or do you think it can backfire in some way? They have been pretty good buddies here on Ixalan, but who knows? Nicol Bolas has some pretty tempting offers, right? Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and of course share it across the multiverse. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you here next time here on the Aether Hub.